Of course, it's easy to get depressed when your relative gets admitted to a dementia unit and sits sorrowfully in the quagmire of it all. But really, it does not help. Depression just drags you down. It's really important to be practical, as positive as you can be, and proactive, because there is so much to do to help the person with dementia, and also being active helps lift our spirits and gets rid of that sort of depressive vibe and on the way to being able to do things in a progressive manner. So it is about going about things step by step. Firstly, orientating yourself to the dementia unit yourself. Secondly, setting up the room. Thirdly, orientating the dementia resident to the dementia unit. Thirdly, walks and outings, and then magazines and newspaper subscriptions, and then special occasions. Getting it all in place does take time, and it's an important process to have everything in place from the onset, because then you can just quietly go through things step by step. Now, firstly, in terms of getting orientated to the unit yourself, if you have worked as a carer or a nurse, or you've visited hospitals, even dementia units regularly, then of course you'll be au fait with the setup, so you won't need to be orientated. But if you've never worked in medical establishments before or visited hospitals, let alone dementia units, definitely you will need to orientate yourself to the staff, the routine, the goings on, who's responsible for what, who to go to for what, and the hierarchical process that is in place in medical institutions and how to work within that. So that's the first thing. Second, setting up the room. There's a lot to that. Trying to get a good location for the person so it's sunny with a nice view. Make sure that the bedding's warm and comfortable. They have their favourite chair, good furniture around that, that they're used to from home, lovely pictures on the wall that they can reminisce on, and activities. The next thing really close to all this, of course, is explaining to the person why they're in the unit, really giving time for that. Don't fob it off. They will probably be upset, stressed, confused. But if you can patiently, in a calm manner, explain to them why they're in the unit, because of the memory problem, because of getting lost at home, because of the safety hazards, whatever the reason is, explain patiently to them. And because of those problems and safety problems and getting lost, etc., that's why they need to be in a facility to cater to the memory problem. And be empathetic and sympathetic. You're still supporting them. You understand that they can still think and reason, and that you can still have a nice relationship with them. But because of present memory loss, it's creating so many problems at home that it has become unmanageable. And because of that, they need to be in the unit. And, generally the person understands that their memory's been failing them and that things haven't been right. And it's much better to explain with clarity rather than just pretending that sort of it's a temporary thing and they're only there overnight, and hopefully that they'll forget about it, which they won't forget about it. They'll be quite clear after a month or two of this that it isn't just temporary but permanent. And if you've deceived them in their view, that can be a really big fracture of trust, and that can be difficult to re-establish. Okay, now close to this, of course, walks and outings. Lots of walks, lots of lovely outings, very important, where you can discuss all these topics, where you can go through things, where fresh air, sunshine, walking, endorphins, Mother Nature, all plays a part in being able to help and heal and get through this difficult, challenging transition of a person going into a dementia facility. Then newspapers, magazines and activities. Make sure that whatever subscriptions the person had before, continue that when they're in the dementia unit. If they've had a newspaper subscription, Women's Weekly subscription, National Geographic, whatever it is, if they like quizzes or crosswords, bring in a pile and make sure that they are refreshed and re-established, reinstated as they were before they came into the unit. All those activities, especially those cognitive activities that the person has enjoyed in their life, keep that going, because it's that cognition and garnering that intellectual engagement, focus and concentration, which will really be the thing to be able to redirect their thinking away from the dementia stress, which is so important. So once you've done all these things, well, actually it is an ongoing process, isn't it? I mean, it's not just a walk once a week. It's not just for a month. It's ongoingly, as long as the person can manage it. Visiting ongoingly, you know, making sure that they've got interesting activities ongoingly. And then, of course, special occasions, birthdays, anniversaries, Mother's Day, Father's Day. There's always special occasions to plan for. Visiting special friends. Maybe your son's come over from Australia and you're going out for dinner with him. Maybe it's your, wedding anniversary. There's going to be a special occasion for that. All these things take time, effort, and energy to plan. But if you've got all the basics in place in the first place, that the room's set up and the person's orientated, activities and subscriptions are at hand, and they've got a good facilities to be able to occupy themselves, then everything else can go on top of that in a meaningful manner, and the person can settle down to having a quality of life at a dementia unit. I mean, of course, they still have to make an effort. I mean, it's not easy living in a dementia unit, even with everything in place, as mentioned, even with all the activities and the support, walks, outings, the lot, even with it all in place, the person still has to make an effort to accept the fact that they're in a unit and to make the best of it, that this is their place now. But if they're well supported and it's normalised and they see you regularly and their friends and family are on side, it's much, much easier for them to be able to accept and even progress living in a dementia facility. So I've written about these topics and more in the 2 books, The Resident's Voice, everything you need to know about a relative going into a dementia unit, The Resident's Rise, all you need to know about the challenges you may well face for a person being in a dementia facility, and all the positive practical techniques you can employ and apply to help. They're good reading, they're on Amazon, ebook, soft copy, hard copy, on my website, pietavalentine.com. So get the books, read them, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. The first half is about the dementia residents' experiences, and the second half, the epilogue, about the techniques, which are also on these videos on YouTube, these never-ending videos, and on TikTok. Now, thank you for your subscriptions and your likes. Also to mention, I'm planning, seems that it will come off, I'm going to Australia sometime soon to do some day retreats on these topics. So I'll let you know once those dates are in place, and those of you that have subscribed are most welcome to come along. I wanted to do something to contribute, and not contribute, to appreciate your support from the start, especially with this platform that was, just only up and running now. But your initial support, I so appreciate it, long-term subscribers, and I wanted to do something to show my appreciation. And as a lot of the subscribers, especially on TikTok, are from Australia, I thought, well, I can do a trip over there and take some workshops. So I'll let you know about that. So thank you for your support. Please subscribe. Thank you.